Hey guys, so again, here we go. Will Flawless Crested Geckos coming to you guys with another video. You guys hear that a lot. We are very consistent with the content. This video, I guess it's going to be the first of probably many. We've seen from the last video, you guys are highly requesting these videos. Even before then, we already mentioned that we do a lot of not necessarily positive affirmations on IG, but sometimes people need a kick in the pants. Sometimes you need a pat on the back. Sometimes you need a helping hand to kind of lift you up and just say, hey, you aren't doing as bad as you think you are. Or say, yeah, you are doing as bad as you think you are, and you need to get your head out your behind and get moving. So this kind of series is what that is all about. People wanting something longer than, a 60-second, VVS series, in which what we do over on Instagram, which we receive a ton of positive messages on. The thing is, how that all came about was we sat back, Audra and I, and we watched the industry, the hobby. We saw a lot of fighting and fussing and a lot of things that was frivolous comparatively to, the realistic thought process of what really matters in life. And as you guys know, we like to try to provide some type of positivity to any situation that we step into. Hence this video. But that being said, there is a lot of things typically on the day-to-day where energy level isn't high, your motivation isn't there, maybe you're procrastinating. We face all these same endeavors as everyone else. There's a lot of truth to things where if you see something negative, it can kind of stunt your growth or kind of stop you in your tracks and, cease all production of whatever you were planning on doing. We oftentimes see that as well. If someone puts a negative comment for whatever reason, we don't engage. We just kind of keep it moving. Yes, it's freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want, do whatever you want. We get that. But we are firm believers that you should receive the same energy that you put out into the universe. So we're trying to do our part as far as spreading the positivity, at the same time giving proper and accurate information and education about the Crested Geckos. So this series is going to be, maybe talking about some Crested Geckos, maybe not, talking about the business, the ups, the downs. Hopefully giving you that long form video that is the kick in the pants that you need if you're down and out, or it is the pat on the back saying that, hey, you've been consistent doing what you need to do and haven't been procrastinating. So kind of touching on all areas at the same time, not just being just positive affirmation, and giving you hopefully what you need to fill that void to continue on with your day. A lot of the time these videos are not going to be very long. There's not going to be very many edits. There's not going to be very many visual cues of what's going on. We're going to do our best to give you accurate, video clarity and proper audio quality. But we see a void and we want to fill that void. It will be myself as well as Audra, together, separate. We're going to put these videos out as long as you guys want them. So we have a little bit of more. You guys know we try very hard to be flawless. And that being said, we want to keep increasing our content as well as the quality of the content. There's a big thing as far as with YouTube, as far as call to action. So in some of these videos, you're going to see some calls to action. For example, in this one, right now, if you're still hanging in there with us, type down below, we want more. We want more. We will greatly appreciate it. A lot of the algorithm things, you get rewarded from people pretty much engaging. As you guys see, we try to comment back and reply to every message that's posted below. So if you have a second, definitely type down below, we want more, and we'll continue with this process. So not to kind of get on a pun or a play on flawless, but we're going to talk about that a little bit because, you know, people have addressed that in the past where, you know, maybe someone, it's not you guys because you guys been following us for a while, and if you haven't, hit that subscribe button. But sometimes we'll get a message that's, you know, flawless. Why would you call yourself flawless? Oh, that's cocky or that's arrogant. That's not people who have been following us who are part of the flawless family. Those are most likely either people that's trying to stir the pot or people who just don't know any better and they kind of, you know, just feed off of negativity. That's fine. That's the world we live in. But you know, we strive to be flawless, which is why we coined that name, that brand. We push very, very hard to be the best that we possibly can. Sometimes we're going to fall short, you know, especially myself. I'm big time, you know, perfectionist, and that does not play in our favor all the time. Are you guys needing some assistance with your Crested Gecko breeding programs? Well, check out our Patreon. We've been running it here now for pretty much close to 2 years. Everyone's been extremely excited. We keep adding new perks every time you guys turn around. We give away Xanthics, we give away high whites, we give away lily whites. We actually upgraded this year to we're giving away over 12 geckos every single year. That averages out to at least a gecko a month, and we've been doing over that. So you are not going to want to miss becoming a part of the Flawless Crested Geckos Patreon family. There's 2 tiers. There's a $50 tier and there's a $100 tier. You get all your funds back in the form of Flawless Crested Gecko savings account. You can take advantage of having 5% additional off by being a Patreon member, as well as having year-round free shipping. You guys are not going to want to miss this, so go head over to patreon.com/flawless crested geckos. But we also referenced the diamond. So diamond is one of those things, believe me, you know, it's woman's best friend. Audra loves diamonds. She loves all the sparkles. But for this video, we'll talk about it a little bit. You know, when you're talking about like perfection and flawless, you know, a lot of stuff that comes about is going to be jewelry, especially diamonds. And, you know, they even refer to it with your clarity of cut. You know, when you start looking at diamonds, you know, flawless cut, you know, very, very slightly flawed. There's all kinds of VVS. We play on those names as well when we name some of our geckos. Again, trying to tie everything into the branding. But if you dig a little deeper, as far as, you know, yes, you can manufacture diamonds. They're going to dig for diamonds, all of the above. But there are no perfect diamonds. There are no perfect diamonds. There is no diamond in the world that's perfect. Every diamond is going to have flaws. So even us here at Flawless, we're going to have flaws. Again, we don't harp on the things that, you know, harm the business or things that we don't do well. We just try to reinvent ourselves in a manner that we can attack whatever the obstacle may be. And sometimes we're successful, but sometimes we are not. And that's where we bring it to the video content to hopefully put it out there for you if you may run into the same obstacles, or maybe now you're better equipped after watching some of these videos to handle it a different manner than maybe we have, or the same manner in the way we have handled it. You have to also understand the type of person that you are. We deal with a lot of issues where we can look at other people go through something and say, all right, well, we're going to do the same exact thing. And sometimes we are successful at it because, you know, we know ourselves a little bit better. And just like you should know yourself a little bit better. And a good kind of overflow, a thought process, again, we'll jump on procrastination. If I'm known to procrastinate on my everyday to-do list and I'm constantly putting things off, there's going to come a time where the amount of things that's on my to-do list cannot be completed within a certain amount of time. Therefore, deadlines are going to expire, and we're going to run into more obstacles. If I know that I have that character or that personality, I would hope that I have a friend or a significant other that kind of plays a good role in counteracting that process that we may go through. Me, on the other hand, again, being a perfectionist, I'm always to the point. I want to put out this consistent content no matter what. Again, closing in on 5,000 subs, so sub and share this content. But it's been a long journey, putting out content consistently every single week, without failure. Is hard, because guess what? Life is going to keep lifing no matter what you do. So the consistency, yeah, you deserve a pat on the back. And I don't even want to say rarely, I never, pat myself on the back. I would rather lift Audra up for her individual success rather than pat myself on the back. So that's a huge flaw for me, because I don't sit and kind of enjoy the moment. I'm always conquer this, on to the next, be creative, and start planning, moving forward. That builds anxiety as well, especially with Audra. And again, we just work really, really well off of each other. So again, tying in all of the procrastination, talk that we're talking about, as far as an example, if I know that something we need to attack or whatever it may be, and someone else has done it before, and they've done videos like these, and they've shown time after time that, they are a self-proclaimed procrastinator, but they still wanted to embark on whatever the journey may be, whatever the task may be. Let's say they attacked it in a proper way, but it had a few missteps along the way. That's not saying that their plan was wrong or flawed. It just said that maybe they didn't execute properly. So me on the other side, if I look at that person as an example, it's not a scenario that we've given time and time again, where we talk about the stove is hot. You put your hand on the stove, you burn your hand. The next person behind you, they're like, oh, okay, cool. Let me see if the stove is hot too. No, it's a slightly different, scenario, because, I look at it more so if that person did the same exact thing that we're trying to attempt, and I'm looking at it through my eyes and coming up with a game plan similar to theirs, but pretty much the same thing. And I know through dedication and perseverance and promptness that we can execute that same task and be successful. We're going to do the same exact thing. So even though it looks the same, it's still slightly different. It's again, for the stove scenario, you put your hand on the stove and you say, hey, it burnt you and you got the scar. I may put a glove on my hand and put my hand on the stove and say, hey, maybe I last a little longer than the first person. So it's all in the scenarios. And again, don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but with this series, we want to cover a plethora of topics, day-to-day things, mood change, mental health, and give you more than that 60-second VVS series that we do over on Instagram. So again, if this is for you guys, subscribe. This is going to be a bunch of different topics. Life issues doesn't have to really pertain to just strictly geckos. Doesn't have to always pertain to business. It will be loosely associated with all of the above. But at the same time, if we still have you here, we want you to subscribe. And also, again, if you like this content, comment again down below. Comment grow. Because we want this channel to grow. We want this message to grow and reach everyone that needs it. It's very, very imperative for us to put the message out there, because we see through messages, private messages, Instagram, Facebook, the whole 9 yards, as well as emails, that people need a lot more positivity in their life. Anyway, it's Will, Flawless Crested Geckos, and we are out.